Hey, how's it going everyone, and welcome back. So the weekly reset is here, and with that, the Vault of Glass is now the featured raid for this week. There's some really sick new armor that came with this, thanks to the ornament, so I'm going to be showing you all the loot that I got across all three characters. So for the first encounter on my Titan, I got the Helm of Saint 14, the Light of the Great Prism class item, and the Continuum Pin artifact. Then for the Templar, which is one of the challenge modes for this raid, we managed to pull a massive clutch for this, and I was rewarded nicely with the Predator's Revenge sniper rifle, his Vengeance rocket launcher, and the adept exotic version of Aethion's epilogue, which does void damage, as well as the emblem that you get for completing the challenge mode. Next at the Gatekeeper / Conflux, I got the regular version of Aethion's epilogue, which does not have an elemental burn. And lastly for Aethion, which is the other challenge mode, I got the adept exotic version of Predator's timepiece, of course the emblem, and I got the helmet for my Titan, so I'm really happy with that. Moving on to my Hunter's loot now, for the first encounter I got the Shattered Vault Cloak, then for the Templar I got Predator's Revenge again, but I also got the exotic version of Fatebringer, so I'm extremely pleased with that. Then for the Gatekeeper I got the chest piece, the Prime Zealot Cuirass. And then lastly for Aethion, I got the exotic version of the Vision of Confluence, as well as the Templar Ghost Shell. And finally for my Warlock's loot, the first encounter I got the Fragment of the Prime class item. Then at Templar I got the Boots, Treads of the Heathen Lords, and the Fatebringer again, the exotic version. Then Gatekeeper I got the regular version of Predator's timepiece. And finally Aethion, Vision of Confluence again, the exotic version, and the Facade of the Heathen Lord's helmet, so I'm really happy with that as well. In case anybody's wondering about the chests throughout the Vault of Glass, they all seem to have been changed now and no longer reward exotics. The only chest that does drop exotics is the new hidden chest that can be found in the second path leading to the Templar as well, after you pick up the first chest when you enter the Vault of Glass. The rest of the chests though only seem to drop ammo synths and legendary engrams and occasionally artifacts. But unfortunately the artifacts don't do anything special, so they're kind of worthless really. Also, the sort of hidden chest that can be found after you face the Templar and drop down that massive hole seems to have disappeared now, and I'm guessing this was the one that was moved to just after the first chest in that hidden area, as in the new chest that does drop exotics. Anyway, so let's take a closer look now at the loot that I got. As you just saw, I got all of the exotic raid primaries and even a couple of duplicates, so I'm really pleased with my loot haul from this. I got the Fatebringer, which does arc damage, Predator's timepiece, which also does arc damage, Vision of Confluence, which does soul damage, and Aethion's epilogue, which does void damage. Now, just a little tip for any of you that are watching this that haven't done the challenge modes yet. If you beat the Templar and are lucky enough to get a primary to drop, whether it's an exotic or just a regular version, I highly recommend using it when you get to Aethion, because it makes killing oracles so much easier. Because these weapons have a perk on them called Oracle Disruptor. This weapon deals bonus damage to oracles in the Vault of Glass. I was using Aethion's epilogue and it was melting through oracles, and even did quite some decent damage against Aethion after I'd run out of special and heavy ammo. The other weapons I got here are the Sniper Rifle Predator's Revenge. Unfortunately I didn't get the Fusion Rifle Praetorian Foil or the Shotgun Found Verdict. Then I also got the Heathen Vengeance Rocket Launcher, but no corrective measure. Next here is the Templar Ghost Shell. I'm pretty happy that I got this. It's nothing too amazing or anything, but it does look quite nice, and so I'm pleased with that. Next, moving on to the armor now, starting with my Titan's helmet. This was one of my top priorities from the raid, so I'm extremely pleased to have this. Now, the Vault of Glass armor set actually has two ornaments, so as you just saw, that was the first one. Here's what the helmet looks like without any ornaments, and here's what the other ornament looks like. It's essentially the same armor set, just slightly different shapes and different pieces, and different colours. On some armor pieces, it's more noticeable. Then here is the class item. This is what it looks like normally. Then here's what it looks like with the first ornament, and here's what it looks like with the second ornament. This might be one of my favourite class items for the Titan. I really dig the way both of these look. Onto my Hunter's gear now. Here's the chest piece and what it looks like normally. Here's what it looks like with the first ornament, and this actually looks like just the Titan chest piece. It looks like the regular Titan chest piece. And here is the second ornament. Then onto the cloak. Here's what it looks like normally, and this looks really cool as it is. Here's what it looks like with the first ornament, and man, this just looks so sick. And here's what it looks like with the second ornament, which again makes it look like just a regular piece but a different colour. And lastly, onto my Warlock's gear, I got the helmet, which I'm really pleased with. Here's what it looks like normally. Here's what it looks like with the first ornament, this is really cool. And here's what it looks like with the other ornament, just different colour. And here is the class item. They've actually switched it around so that now it's red by default, and you have to apply the second ornament to make it look like how it's normally supposed to look. So here's the first ornament, and here is the second one. Anyway, that is all for my loot this week from the Vault of Glass. Really happy with the turnout from this, despite not getting the Vex Mythoclast. I'll probably have a guide on how to do the challenge mode soon for those watching this who haven't done it yet, although somebody who's better at explaining things than me, like Data, will already have a guide on this. But if you have done the Vault of Glass this week, leave a comment and let me know. Let me know what kind of loot that you got, and if you managed to get the Vex Mythoclast or not. Next week's featured raid is going to be King's Fall. So as always, thank you very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. Positive ratings are greatly appreciated, and I'll talk to you next time.